bachelor's in computer application, and overall I have an experience of 8 plus years in IT industry. I started my career in April 2015 from Sybase Software Private Limited. It's a private limited company in Pune. And there I worked for a long time. I worked there till July 2021. And after that, in August 2021, I started working with Allscript. It's a healthcare, it's an IT company in healthcare domain. And there I've worked till last month till March 2024. Currently, I'm not working. I'm looking for a job. So this is about my experience, overall experience in terms of numbers. Talking about my talking about the experience in detail, when it comes to Sybase Software Private Limited, where I joined in April 2015, I started my career as a service desk analyst. I started working on very basic technical issues related to laptop, Outlook, etc. However, there I have spent a long journey, and slowly and gradually I moved to my technical roles in Sybase. So post service desk, I started working as a Windows administrator. So I have spent enough time on Windows administrator as a system admin. I have good idea how the data center works, data center day-to-day operations with virtual machines, with VMware, with Hyper-V, and with hardware also. I have worked on HP servers, I have worked on Dell servers. That was related to my on-prem experience. Then fortunately, same client of mine where I was working in Sybase, same client of mine, they wanted to migrate their data center to cloud, and that cloud happened to be Azure. And that's how my Azure journey started. Luckily, my client and my manager, they believed in me. They did not ask me to change my project, but they asked me to enhance my skill. So did I went for some certifications, I did some Azure study, etc. And then I started working in the same project on a different role. Initially, I was responsible for very least important, I would say, activities like putting machine into maintenance mode on Azure portal, resizing the machine, increasing the disk size, increasing the RAM size, etc., etc. And then eventually I became a part of their core team implementation team. And post leaving Sybase, when I was working with Allscript, there also I worked as an implementation engineer. Now, as an implementation engineer, my roles and responsibilities were, be it Sybase or Allscript, my roles and responsibilities were implementation of resources. It could be anything from landing zone setup to Azure subscription. Though I never got a chance to create the subscription, but it was in my job.
Let me ask you a question. What are the things that you create in landing zone?
If I give you a very specific technical answer, a landing zone setup, the mandatory things which we should have, be it migration. Most of the time we use it for migration, but it can be done for a new onboarding also. When it comes to migration, we should have a region, a selected region, a subscription, a resource group, a replication storage account, which should not have soft delete enabled. We should have a virtual network, we should have a subnet, and we should have availability option decided whether we are going with some availability option or we are going without any redundancy option. These are the technical aspects I gave you. But apart from this also, we could have n number of things. I mean, we could have load balancing, we could have policies, we could have all RBAC roles, we could have all users. I mean, n number of things, whatever we think that we can prepare or we can bring before bringing our machines from on-prem or before creating the machines, whatever the supporting task or supporting resources we can create, I would consider them in landing zone setup.
Okay, so do you have migration experience?
I do, yes.
Okay. Uh, uh, okay. So quickly, because we are running short of time,
I
so
understand.
quickly describe me in crisp details like your experience on the migration project and your role.
Sure, sure. I have worked as an implementation engineer. As you said, very quickly, I'll be a bit fast. I have worked as an implementation engineer on one of the migration project. I remember recently we did for 30 virtual machines. We were migrating those virtual machines from vSphere to Azure. We used two tools. We used Current. It is one of the ISV tools in the Azure portal, and we used Azure Migrate tool also. And before that, we used assessment also. We did that using Current and Azure Azure assessment tool. So these were agentless. When it comes to Current, it was agentless installation. We had to install this software in our vCenter, create a virtual machine, and then through some ports, it starts fetching the information. It start fetching the data and information. At the background, it uses ASR technology, though we call it migration. but ultimately it is ASR. So how it works, that when I start doing this, when I start doing the assessment, it will assess all the servers. It will give me the list of servers. Let's say I have 2000 servers, it gave me the list of that. We selected 30 servers out of them which were highlighted by client. Then it started assessment. Once this assessment done, we had different time. I mean, for few servers we did the assessment for 1 day. For few servers we did the assessment for 30 days. It was decided by client. Debates that depends on the nature of the application. So once we have the assessment, we do get a detailed report that this server was being utilized this much of percentage. Example, I have a server which has 12 GB of RAM, 500 GB of hard disk, but in assessment I come to know that it is hardly using 50% of it, or maybe it is using 90% of it. So based on that assessment, either we can take a manual call on that. I mean, if the number of servers are 30, we can do that manually. Otherwise, we get recommendation also, be it Current or be it Azure Migrate tool. It gives you the recommendation that either you can go with as it is size, whatever you have. I mean, you don't get the exact size, but whatever the best match we have, they call it equivalent match, that if you have 12 GB, in Azure we have 14 GB and 500 GB, go with that. So we get that assessment report also, and we get a best match also, where based on their assessment, like I was saying, if your server is not being utilized even 50%, then Azure report, the migration report will tell you, assessment report will tell you that you should go with a smaller size, which will save your data. And if you have multiple servers on-prem, multiple servers which are hosting one application, then we can go for load balancer also. All these recommendations, etc., you get a little bit of them you get using tool, and you can imply your knowledge also. This is how we did it. So once we have that report, then we go with the migration approach. We go with the migration tool. So when we start migrating, we do have an option. We do get some options where we can do the test migration. When it comes to test migration, your actual server won't get shut down. You will migrate the it happens again using ASR. Replication is already there using the same replica. A new machine will be created. You can assign some IPs, etc. You can give it to app owner. App owner can test it, and once they are satisfied, maybe we have to clean up the test failover. We have to clean up the test migration. Once that has been done, then we go for the actual migration. When we talk about actual migration, there will be a cutover where the actual machines will be shut down. So we have to we have to consider the downtime. We have to speak with application owner, see when can this be done, maybe in midnight, maybe on weekend. Once we do that, that time when we start the migration, your actual machines will be shut down and the same machine will turn on in Azure. And obviously, as I was talking about the landing zone setup, once the machine are back, I will not start creating my VNet peering, subnet, NSGs, etc. I will keep them everything ready. So as soon as my machines are ready, uh, I will be able to turn them on and I can hand it over to client. They can do the testing
Got it, got
of
it, got it, got it, got it, got it. Okay, so quickly tell me some. I will ask some questions on Terraform. Okay, so what is the parameter that is used to create identical resources?
identical resources. To be very honest, I'm not that good with Terraform. But as far as
Okay.
I remember, we use for each command if I want to use the loop or multiple resources.
Any experience on Kubernetes?
Not with Kubernetes. Mostly, I have been working with infrastructure as a services.
Okay, okay, okay. Uh,
But though I'm
DevOps?
aware of, I mean, I'm aware of Terraform also, like Terraform init, plan, apply, destroy, what it does, Terraform show, etc. What it does, how to use that. I'm aware of that. Uh, Yeah, DevOps, when it comes to DevOps, I do understand that DevOps, I cannot write a pipeline from scratch, but implementation, making some changes using DevOps code, using ADV, I
Okay,
have
okay,
a
no,
fair
okay,
idea.
no problem, no problem. Tell me the options when you go to Azure DevOps server. What are the options do you see on the left hand control panel? What are the options that you see?
When I go to Azure DevOps server,
DevOps, DevOps.azure.com. What are the options that you see?
I mean, we have organizations, we can create
Correct.
projects, if that's what you're talking
Okay.
about, yes.
Yes. What are the other options?
We can create new organization, we can select one of the organization. Once we select the
Okay.
organization, at the left hand
Okay.
side we'll get the controls, etc. Organization setting will get from where if you have to add someone, if you have to give access to someone, all those options we get, billings, users,
Okay.
etc.
Okay. What is a function app? What is a function app?
A function app, it's one of the PaaS services, I would say. uh, it's almost same as app service. Like we have app service, it is more towards serverless architecture. For example, if I take the same example, if I'm migrating some servers, I may
Got
find
it,
an
got it,
application
got
where
it.
I,
So
yeah, okay,
I got your point. Serverless
correct.
it itself
Yes, yes.
indicates. Next is what is a logic app?
Again, it's same as I would say same, but here we can run multiple functions. We can use multiple scripts. Example, give some data input, and I want to run the function that remove odd numbers from this, or remove zeros from it, or add 100 to each number and give me the result. You can add some functions to it, and you can have the report sent via email or maybe dump it somewhere. That is the logic app.
Got it, got it, got it. Okay, so Sohan, I'm done with the interview.
Okay.
I'll pass on the feedback to the concerned person and prepare well for the next round because you have a good experience on infrastructure. I'm clearing you for the first round.
Thank you.
However, this role requires knowledge on Terraform and DevOps. Okay,
DevOps. I'll
so
study.
prepare well. Okay.
Sure, sure. I will do that. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback, Pankaj.
All right. Take care.
Bye.